Micromanagers have issues with consent. Let me say that again. Micromanagers have issues with consent. Hey, this is Janelle, the relationship coach behind The Successful Invisible, and I'm here with a modern dating tip. This came up recently in a few sessions with clients, as well as during some conversations with peers and some friends. And I noticed a parallel. This is anecdotal evidence, but I believe this stands true, and I think it's something for people to be aware of. So, especially women. So going back to what I was saying, I had recent sessions where clients were struggling with maybe in their dating lives in terms of men wanting to move too fast and them trying to navigate that in a safe and productive way. That ended up in some cases cutting the gentleman off, in other cases, being very clear about boundaries and reaffirming those boundaries, etc. Everyone's situation was different. And on the same token, at the same time, I should say, I had some friends and some peers talk to me about, some new management on two different jobs that have come in, direct management, and they have tendencies around micromanagement. And these are seasoned professionals. These aren't folks directly out of college. So no one wants or needs that type of oversight. It's not productive for most people, especially when they are seasoned and well-versed and pretty far along in their career. So this idea occurred to me, and I spoke to my clients and I asked them, those who were struggling with men who were trying to move too fast, I asked them to talk to those men, ask them when they were in conversations about work, ask those men, did they manage people? And how did they manage people in their work life, And I also, my friends who were and peers who were struggling with some micromanagement tendencies of their direct managers, or in one case it was even 2 levels up, but it was felt by them and their team, I asked them to really ask about or find out in certain ways, it's nothing that was snooping, but ask about what that person's personal life was like. And I found a common chord. So for my clients who were dating men who were trying to move too fast, those men who managed people were micromanagers or are micromanagers at work. And they have gotten feedback in 360 surveys, etc., that they manage people and the people that they manage do not care for that. And in some cases, they have high turnover in their areas. And it's causing stress in their life, in their personal lives. Now, to the flip side, I talked to some of my friends and associates who were struggling with leadership coming in who had a micromanagement style. And all of those individuals who had that style either were divorced, were in acrimonious or strained relationships in their personal lives and in their family, etc. So I noticed a common thread, and that was micromanagers have issues with consent because they want it done their way. Now, as we know, we cannot live and operate in a family unit, in a work environment, or anything else where we try to force people to do something. Of course, we want people to work as a team. Of course, we want people to get along and there be positive collaboration, etc. But what I'm talking about is an individual who has a mindset to try to force their way of doing it, and they see their way of doing it as the only right way. That usually ends up in very strained, dysfunctioned, or broken relationships in their personal lives, and they're making up for it by trying to double down with that same behavior in their work lives. And I just noticed this. So if you are struggling at any point when you're talking to a guy and he seems okay, but he's trying to move too fast, ask him if he manages people and what's his management style. And you will likely see, it's not 100%, like I said, this is anecdotal from my observations. You will likely see, though, I believe, micromanager tendencies, and understand that those equate a lot of times to that person having issues with consent. They have an issue with other people wanting to be their own person and operate in their own way. And it can be disastrous for them. I'm not saying every micromanager is an assaulter or an unsafe person, but it is likely a personality trait that they aren't aware of, and your challenges in dating could be due to a personality trait of theirs where they are struggling with your consent, your boundary. So keep that in mind and understand that it's not about you, it's about them, and what's best for you is to always stay safe and vigilant when you're out here dating. So micromanagers usually, in my experience, have issues with consent.